Hey, are you an impulsive trader that loses money because you're making an emotional decision? Today, I'm going to give you 3 tips on how you can stop being an emotional trader. Stay tuned to the end of today's video, how to make money trading stocks, and you'll get the answer to help you become more consistent and more profitable. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Active Trend Trader. I want to welcome you to today's session of how to make money trading stocks and options. They say when you start these videos, you're supposed to start off with a question. My question for you today is, are you an overly emotional trader? Or do you have a trouble managing your emotions? Stay tuned. I'm going to provide 3 tips, 3 trading tips today to help you manage your emotions so hopefully you can become more consistent and a more profitable trader. Joining us today, of course, is Anil Parikh, the Delaware IBD meetup guru, specialist, wonderful stock picker, Parikh, a wonderful researcher. Parikh, welcome aboard. Anil, welcome aboard, my friend.
Glad to be here. It's wonderful. I'm learning a lot from here also.
And then Steve Ferreira from here on Oahu. Steve, welcome aboard.
Glad to be here also.
And we're looking forward to hitting some stocks. We had a request, and we're going to do this today. We're going to see how it times out. But we had a request by someone, and what's really funny, if the person who requested this isn't on the call today because they're supposed to be, I'm never going to take a request from that person again. But anyway, so welcome aboard. What we're going to do is, when we get to the point of revealing what stocks we're looking at for next week, we will also go give a real quick synopsis on what happened to the stock that we picked from last week. So that should be a little fun. Also, help keep us honest and let you know what's going on. I encourage you, if you watch us on a weekly basis, keep track of what we are in fact trading, and we'll go from there. So just remember that plan, patience, persistence, and profits. If you want to maximize your profits and minimize your losses, the Active Trend Trading System is for you. It's a proven, clear, and simple. We're just doing the tally on how we've done over the last 10 years. The Active Trend Trading System has beat the S&P significantly every year for the past 10 years. Very pleased with that as a result. But I'm focused on helping you trade your way to wealth and financial freedom. Here's my targets for the year. Yearly goal, 40% ROI with a 65% win-loss ratio. You will save time every week because, one, we give you a market index review. We give a stock pick for the week by the elite traders, and then a stock checkup if we have time to do that. So what I'm going to do initially, guys, rather than jumping into, I like this quote, bad habits are easy to form and difficult to get rid of. At all times, be discerning and ask yourself the question, and wary of what you are rehearsing, because we are rehearsing no matter what we do for a living, no matter if you're a trading for a living, you're rehearsing your habits. You want to double check and make sure your habits are in fact leading to successful trading and not more losses. Remember that all materials we present are for training purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication or a promise of future performance. And guys, I'm going to try something a little bit different today. Here's where we're sitting as you can see, my slope on my line is kind of paralleling where I'm at. I'm anticipating still by the end of December to be at my 40% for the year mark or higher. Here's where we were last week. Here's where we are this week. We're beating the indexes again this year. We're almost up to 31% for the year, so another 8 or 9%. One of the things I learned in listening to Lee Tanner last weekend at Amy's charity function, Amy Smith's charity function, on the presentations, Lee is always a big guy on trading on margin, significant margin. And he tries to stay at somewhere between 185 and 200% invested at all times. That helps him produce exceptionally good returns if he follows his rules. And so one of the things I'm working on is how to implement doing more margins type positions like Lee does. And believe it or not, it does impact this and gives us more of an opportunity. So that's where we're sitting at. Guys, what I'm going to do, rather than jumping into the index review right now, I'm going to take one at a time. And let's start with Steve, and then we'll jump in after I do the market review. Anil, you can do yours, and I'll finish up the presentation, and I'll jump to my suggestion. So on today's session, Steve's like an NVDA. What's going on with the NVDA, Steve?
Well, it's been in a very strong trend. It's gone sideways for a few days, and we had a pullback to the 8, bounced right off it, hit inside bar yesterday. It was an entry for me today above yesterday's high.
Okay.
It's down. Now, it's down a little bit from that, but I like the entry.
Now, the question I always like to ask is, okay, where's your stop loss? If you bought it right here.
Under 2 days ago, the low. Or
right here?
EMA. Yeah.
So if you entered right now, that low is about 5% away. So that's definitely within the parameters
I take that back, because the 8 EMA is rising. It's going to be right at a close under the 8 EMA.
Okay, so a close, let's say, so you're about 4% away from a potential stop loss. That's excellent.
Like that. Yeah,
that's excellent. I really like this. Again, this one of the things that I really like about this particular entity, Steve, is huge buy volume when it broke out there. Where does that correspond to? Right about there. Was that having to do with earnings?
No, it was not an earnings event. I'm not sure what the event really was. Can't tell.
That is phenomenal, because earnings took place. Let me go.
It's coming up, I think.
Are they still coming up?
Yeah, coming up in a few days, maybe 5 or 6 days. On the
Coming
12th, I believe.
15th.
I have 17.
Okay, I have the 17th after the market closes, AMC.
Right.
So that could have just been somebody knows something about the earnings, so maybe they're expecting something really good. So NVDA, I love it. Moving quickly, Steve, your suggestion from last week, you changed your mind and went with FANG.
I believe that's right.
So let's see what happened. So let's see. Let's find last Friday, which was.
I would have triggered in on Monday, and I would have triggered out on Tuesday.
Okay. And basically taking out that low. That's awesome. So you would have got in and it got out for less than a 3% loss. And those who are listening to this, that's really significant, guys, because, I once heard a saying that the saying was, take your losses quickly. And when you have a stop like that is based on a technical support area, getting out 10, 15, 20 cents below that is awesome. Good job, Steve.
Okay, thank you.
Now, follow-on question, just real quick. Is FANG off of your watch list, or?
No, I am watching it for a re-entry, and it looks like it's setting up an entry. We've got 2 inside bars yesterday and today.
Okay.
Inside the down bar. So at a break of the high, today's high, I would have a long entry.
Okay, excellent. So
on Monday. Yeah.
On Monday, I love it.
Yeah.
So okay, let's take a quick look at now, Anil. Now that you see, now we're doing this rapid fire thing.
Okay.
You'll get your chance here in a second, but I'm going to go to the indexes first. Okay, first the S&P. What's going on with the S&P? What I'm seeing here is basically we did a 1, 2, 3, about a 3-4 day pullback. We had gone up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 days, 3-day pullback, and now we're trying to rebound again. It, to some extent, is suspect. Why? Because our TSI our momentum has crossed over. However, the market forecast momentum is staying above the 80 line. And as long as it's above the 80 line, I'm not in the mood to try to get rid of this or to basically short this or to, I'm still looking for that pullback into the 20-day moving average. We may or may not get it. The pullback may have been complete, just piercing the 8-day to move higher. On the weekly charts, as you can see, we do have a negative divergence going on in the market, on the index, on the TSI, a little bit of a negative divergence. Now, that doesn't mean we can't push higher. This dotted line up here is let me give you a real quick fib on that. This dotted line here is a Fibonacci from this low, this high, down to this low, or it is approximate. No, yeah, that's right. So as you can see, we're almost up to the 161% extension, and it basically stalled out, fell. This is pretty classical, and just keep your eye on that. And so what are we looking at? It's pulling right back into a level of support. I like it better, again, on the support at the 20, because I think it's a stronger level of support. So that's what I'm looking at on the S&P. On the Qs, similar type pattern. Again, did a little bit deeper pullback. As long as my momentum indicators are not crossing back up yet, I'm still waiting for a signal to get in. As I said with the S&P, I like it better if it's at the 20-day moving average approximately. This box right here is the fib box from this low to this high. That is the 38% retracement, the 50, and the 618 retracement. And oftentimes price actions will interact with that. The breakout area right there at 382.71, as you see, is just inside the magic fib box and could provide us a level of support. So we have a little range there for support. That's where I would position an alert to say, to rattle my cage a little bit, to say, hey, wake up. That's a place to pay attention to what's going on. So that's what I've got with again, still showing a little bit of negative divergence. And so we could be, like I said, we could be within the context of an extremely strong uptrend. We could very well be, just waiting for a pullback setup and then jump on something from there. IWM, the Russell is down for today slightly. It is basically, the Russell gave us a breakout of the trading zone, a breakout of the past highs. And so I'm still looking for a nice little pullback into that past high at about, what's my number there? 234.53. And then I'd be looking at either trading options on IWM to the upside. And matter of fact, I have some trade for our premium option traders. I have a buy order to buy some options on IWM if we get down into that level. And if we don't, the order cancels itself out conditionally this weekend. Did we lose you, Steve?
Oh, I'm still here.
Okay.
What happened? The video turned off. I'm sorry, the video turned off.
Okay.
I don't know why.
And so basically, nice pullback. We're in the process of putting in a flag. And since we are in an upward trend, it is a bull flag. That's what I've got on the IWM. Gentlemen, what's your thoughts about just the analysis?
I think it's a scenario that could play out. I believe a little differently that we've seen the reversal to the upside today. We were pretty negative this morning and a strong reversal mid-morning.
Okay.
So I think we're resuming the uptrend right now. So
It
I'm
could
looking for setups.
Exactly. Could very, very much be. Anil?
Yeah, my system is still the bullish trend is intact.
Okay, cool. So you're looking for opportunities to enter. Anil, on your system, because we're going to go to your stocks next, on your system, when it clicks to the bullish side, is now, I know you can treat it where that is your primary indicator and you just go ahead and buy, but it can switch to the bullish side and then still get some pullbacks or support bounces. So do you ever wait for an entry even after your system, it's turned to bullish, but do you ever wait for an entry?
No, I don't. My ideal buy point is the moment it gives the signal I want to enter.
Okay.
And now the system has been automated so much that every morning I click a switch and it tells me which stock is there. So it's my decision now. If my portfolio allows, I'd buy it. My portfolio, if I don't have room, then I'll wait for the next day.
Okay, and for everybody, and one of the things I know that a lot of our members, they and people who watch the How to Make Money Trading Stocks Zoom meeting is, some of them are still working for a living, and they don't have the luxury to look at the market on a daily basis or during the market hours. Now you have the luxury of being able to do that, right? Where you if you get a trigger, you can actually go and look at the market.
Yeah, but my trigger are available in the evening.
Okay.
As soon as the market closes, I know which stock I want to think about tomorrow.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, you and I have got to schedule a one-on-one Zoom meeting next week because I want to see some more of what you're doing, because I was there for your last IBD meetup group meeting, and it was pretty awesome. I like I said, I was very impressed. You can load any watch list into your triple screen sorter, and it can tell you what's ready and what's not. So that's impressive, guys. And
also with the help of Ed Neer, it's available to whoever wants it.
Yep, but they have to become a member of the Delaware Meetup Group, right?
Yeah. Become a member of Delaware Meetup Group, request it, and you get it.
Okay, so let's pop on over to when Anil sent me his text message this morning to tell me what stock he was picking. I almost fell out of my chair because I'm going, oh my goodness. And it was Qualcomm. Now, Qualcomm, I mean, this goes back to, a 1999 company. I mean, this was back during the dot-com bubble where they were just kind of like first doing their thing. And so, but I know it's still been continue to be a good growth stock. But tell us about your pick, Anil.
No, it's again, I see it in my system, and as you can see, it has gapped up quite a bit,
right?
And hanging on, and my system gave the signal. And if you look at the IBD chart, it's still in the base.
Okay.
IBD would say it's still not broken out. If looking at your weekly chart, you'll know why.
Okay. Yeah. And so where's your buy point and where's your exit? Or your stop loss?
Buy point is you can buy it right here, right now, and stop loss would be about 5%.
Okay, so let's just see real quick what that would be, folks. Let's go ahead and grab so if you bought it right here, a 5% stop loss would be, that's really excellent. It'd actually be just slightly, it would just be inside the 8-day moving average. Isn't it interesting? I know Steve's been following the Wilborn method with the 8-day moving averages for quite a while, but I'm always continuing to impress by how that a close below the 8-day moving average is oftentimes your early warning to say, hey, I'm out of here. Take your profits or take your loss, and then come back to fight another day. Isn't that right, Steve?
Absolutely. And interestingly, on this pick, today would have been an entry for me also if I were looking at this. Yesterday, an inside bar, you break the high, yesterday's high, today you're in.
Yep, I like it. So, and even if you just hung around until it breaks back into you're still only about 7% into the gap up window.
Right.
And so, Now, for me, of course, my entry would be basically a pullback into the moving averages, but that's okay. I mean, you got to look at this. The moving averages are only, 4% away, or even less than that, about 3% away. So at worst, I would be risking 3% if I entered right now. The other good thing about this entity is it does have weekly, it has a bunch of weekly options. And so that's pretty rock solid. Let me take a look.
I think it's a great pick, Anil.
Thank you. So Anil, now you're going to have to explain yourself though, because last week you picked, I'm giving you a hard time. You picked.
I can't remember.
I do. TER.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, and last Friday was right there. So, no, last Friday was right there.
It's hanging right in there. I think it closed around 144 last Friday.
Okay.
And it's at 145. It's just hanging in there. We'll see.
So that's the one question that I wanted to ask you is that do you buy at the close?
Not necessarily. If I know the night before if I want to buy, then I see if it opening at the morning is not wild.
Okay.
Then I will pick it up sometime before noon or something.
Yeah. And this is doing pretty much, it did a breakout. Then we're getting a fairly classic little stalling pullback into the breakout area. It doesn't have to get all the way down to the breakout area for it to qualify for that. But 60 to 70% of all stocks that break out actually do some sort of a pullback back into the session. So you're in on this one.
Yes.
Excellent. And so, yeah, it's looking pretty good. We're basically just posturing and consolidating. Volumes, drying up, so it may be getting ratcheting for a move up to the upside. Yeah. So excellent. And let's see here. So hey, just want to remind you, if you're not an autopilot trader, you need to be. Basically, what I do is I put out 7 picks every week. 2 of them are from from my ETFs. And also 5 of them are from my autopilot top 5 growth stocks. It's a pre-flight. I show you exactly where I'm getting in, how to set up your orders and all that kind of stuff. These are for training purposes only and let you know, and so if you choose to parallel trade with me, recognize, measure your own risk profile. And it's a, excellent deal. It's about $83 a month, but we do it in 3 monthly payments of $333 or a yearly payment of $997. So just learn about autopilot. The link goes down in description in the comments. Now, before we close off, I'm going to share with you what my pick for the week is. My pick for the week is, now when I put this on earlier, it was looking pretty good, but SQ. Let's see how it's doing. It's doing fine. Okay. SQ is kind of runs along the same path as PayPal, but PayPal is a lot uglier. And SQ, I like it for several different reasons. One is my TSI is in the low reversal zone, looking like it wants to be turning up. Those of you who follow what I do with the market forecast, I have a 3-line cluster, which a 3-line cluster, once you have one, prices tend to reverse somewhere between 1 and 4 trading periods, in this case, days after it. Can it go a little bit lower? Yes, it can. But I have a bullish harami, or as Steve says, it's an inside day. And again, my momentum is shaping up to move back up to the upside. Now, have I had a full momentum shift? No, not yet. But this is my pick for the day. I would be a buyer anywhere from.
I'm talking now. Not a problem. You okay?
You okay, Steve?
Yes, my wife needed some attention.
Okay. So anyway, I've got a bearish harami, and I'm really close to stop out. My stop out, if I drop this level over here by 20% or 20%, 20 cents, I would be getting out. So I could buy it here, and that would give me about just slightly over a 5% stop loss, or right at a 5% stop loss. So that's my pick for this week, guys.
Looks good.
Looks good. I think it's a good place to be buying. I would not be a buyer right now, but if you're going to trade something like this, I think it's a great time to be trying to do a buy.
Yeah. And Steve brings up a point important. The reason I'm looking to buy at what appears to be a bottom here is I have my clues are telling me momentum is in an area where it typically reverses. What happens when it reverses? And two, second clue, I have a bullish reversal signal, which is the bullish harami, and I'm at a level of strong support. So those are my three clues to say, hey, I can go ahead and do this. So I like it. And it does have weekly options. And my pick for last week, if you remember correctly, is, yeah, Barry, I agree wholeheartedly. And it depends on which stochastic oscillator you're looking at, because my stochastic oscillator that I'm looking at, yeah, it hasn't totally reversed, but it's really, really close. Again, I have three clues that, I need to have three positive clues in order to take a trade at a particular level. And I have them in this stock. My call for last week was TWLO. And if you recall correctly, I said I am taking this as a downside trade. Here was last Friday, and I said I would basically look to do a downside put type trade, and sure enough, we resolved to the downside, and from our close on Friday, which was there, just grab the close, we actually dropped about $17. And so $17. And so the put trade, I did a spread on it in my personal account, a $5 spread, and it was very profitable, and it hit the target as I wanted to. The other thing you could have done was, it was easy to borrow the shares on this. If you wanted to short it, I could have shorted it also. But again, taking profits quickly, right there at about the 295 level. So I would have had to wait. Here's the 5th, 8th, 9th. And actually the 9th was when I actually jumped out of the trade, because it dropped. My range on and the range is up here if you're looking for it. The range, okay, the range on the 9th, as you see, is $15.71. And so that jumped me out of the trade perfectly. So there's my two trades, guys.
It's good.
And yeah, we're pretty good. Yeah, we I get too verbose sometime, and I apologize for that. So let's go ahead and we will close up. If you like the format, the way we did this, and kind of breaking things up a little bit today, I really, just let us know. Leave a comment there on YouTube. If you're not a member, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, and then, I don't want to forget. Here are the 3 tips for managing your emotions. Okay. Managing your emotions, because in reality, we really can't control our emotions. But I know one thing for certain: when emotions take over our trading or take over anything, they tend to dumb us down. And I don't know if it was Freud that said it or what, but when emotions kick in, IQ goes down. So in other words, we become dumber. And we do not want to make dumb mistakes. And so that's why I believe in using mechanical systems. So the 3 tips are this. 1, stop watching the market while it's open. If you're watching it go tick by tick during the day, it will encourage you to make, impulsive and compulsive decisions. 2, rather than watching it, use conditional orders for entry, for profits, and for protection of capital that you can put in before the market opens, so while the market's totally closed. And then lastly, tip number 3, learn to journal your emotions. What I mean journal is use your journal to write down. So especially first thing in the morning, if you do watch the market in the morning or throughout the time period, write down, and I hate to say it because I'm not a big feelings kind of guy, but write down how you are feeling. And it could be just, hey, I don't feel well today. I'm sick. I've got a cold. I've got, something going on. I just had a big fight with my spouse. All of those can contribute to emotional distress or stress and tension that doesn't need to come into your trading. So I hope you can use those, those 3 tips to help you, 1, reduce your impulsive, compulsive nature, lower your high emotions, and reduce the noise in your trading. So as we like to say, hey, we're going to be switching to 2022 here. We're looking at our plan for 2022 in the very near future, but wealth building will continue to be a huge part of it and how to do that better. If you're a premium member, we'll be hanging on for a final hour, starts at the top of the hour. And as we like to say here in the islands, aloha, trade well, and prosper. Remember, it's never too late to start building your wealth and your achieving your financial freedom. So until next time, I'll say aloha, God bless everybody. Stephen and Neil, thank you, gentlemen. What did you guys think about how we mixed up today's session?
I always like talking trading, however you do it.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah, we had a good flow either way.
Okay, excellent. So, okay, everybody, aloha, God bless, and we will see you next week.